Today we are going to show you guys how to clip and Dremel nails. Sam and I are going to be demonstrating this using Stick Boy, Daisy, and Barney. So we have a few different variations of what's going on here with their nails. So first off, I want you guys to get like some sort of dog bed that the dog is comfortable with and has been on before and knows that they might be here for a little bit of time. So what I do is I bring some treats with me and just get him acclimated to being comfortable here. So make sure that he has a good association with the dog bed before you start doing anything with the nails. So, and he loves hot dogs. All right, if you could zoom in here, you can see Stick Boy's nails are ridiculously long, and we wouldn't necessarily start with the Dremel with him because the nails being so long. So what we would do is we would clip them first, get them to a decent length here, and then finish off with the Dremel.
Now that our dog is comfortable on the bed, they're relaxed being up here, now we can start the process of trimming the nails. So it's very important when we're trimming the nails on the dog that we avoid cutting the Quik. And the Quik is a blood vessel that runs through the nail, and that's the part of the nail that's alive. And so we definitely want to avoid hitting that part because it'll bleed and it'll cause the dog some pain. And it'll also cause a negative association with the nail trim, and nail trim should be relaxing for the dog. So whenever we're talking about cutting the nails, and Stick Boy is a very good example because his are very long, you can see there's a red portion, and that's where the Quik is. So we want to avoid cutting into that red portion. Now if your dog has black nails, you can't see the red portion. So with a dog with black nails, what you can do is you can look on the underside of the nail, and you can see where there's a portion of the nail that's not very smooth. It's kind of rough and it's got an opening in it. That portion, there's no Quik there, and so it's safe to cut that. So now that Stick Boy's all relaxed, I can go ahead and start cutting. And when I'm cutting, I'm not going to make huge cuts because I want to make sure that I'm getting the right areas. So I'm just going to snip a little bit off at a time. Easy, Stick Boy. Come here, bud. So just a little bit off at a time. Check my progress. Next little bit. All right, so now I'm not going to finish trimming. I'll wait and get the rest of that with the Dremel, but now I've gotten off a significant portion of the nail that was dead. So you can see where the Quik starts and where the Quik ends. And then on this next nail, do the same thing. I'm going to cut off a little bit at a time. All right, still need to cut off some more. All right, now look on the underside of the nail. So you can see where now there's a little spot in the middle of the nails. That tells me that I've reached the point where I want to use the Dremel rather than the clippers because I'm starting to get into the Quik area. Versus when I cut this nail, you can see that that black hole is not there. This is all still part of the regular nail. And now you can see the dot on that nail as well.
But that's a good example. It's a dark nail.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so this one's a little bit darker of a nail. And some dogs have all white nails, some dogs have some black, some white, and some dogs even have, depending on their one foot, they might have half and half.
Okay.
Now, it's also important, some dogs have dew claws, some dogs don't, but we always want to make sure that we get the dew claws, especially because with the other nails, dogs can wear them down in their daily life. But with the dew claw, which is this accessory claw, they don't ever wear that down in real life. So it's very important that we trim that because that's also very prone to being torn if they catch it on something. Now Stick's been doing a good job, and so I'm going to reward him a little bit with some treats. And the frequency that you're going to end up rewarding your dog is going to vary based on your dog's comfort level. So with Stick Boy, you can tell that he's not very stressed about this. He's pretty at ease with everything that we're doing. If I had a dog that was a little bit more leery about the nail trims, I would reward them more frequently. Maybe even as much as every toe I would reward them. Now, that's only for the beginning. Obviously, as time goes on, the dog gets more comfortable, you can start to lower your reward frequency. But nail trim should always be something that's relaxing and calming to your dog. So, in some cases, even if you're super careful with the trimming of the nails, you will Quik the dog. And what that means is that you just nick that Quik portion of the nail. Now, if that happens, don't panic, it's not the end of the world. There's a product called Quik Stop that you can get. It's a styptic powder. And with that styptic powder, it'll stop the blood from coming out and it'll help clot the blood. In a pinch, you can also use flour. So with this styptic powder, you're going to put it on a tissue, and then you're just going to tap it onto the end of the nail where the Quik has been cut, and you're just going to hold it there until the bleeding stops. And the other thing too is it's important to not let the dog like lick the stuff off, because we want it to sit on there for a minute while it's doing its job. So keep an eye on your dog, make sure they're not licking off the styptic powder, but very quickly that will help the blood to clot, and then problem solve, the dog can go back out.
Okay guys, this is Barney. So Barney has never had or seen the Dremel before. So you are seeing a dog at its very first steps here. So again, associating the bed with just being positive. He loves some hot dogs. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it on, just so he hears the noise. And there's different settings here, so you don't have to have it on full blast. So we're going to put it on like a lower setting, just so it's almost like white noise, background noise. And then I can still feed him some hot dogs if he's curious to say, like, what is that? I'll let him sniff it. Good. Good boy, Barney. Oh, look at you. There you go. Okay. Attaboy. So with it still running, I'm just going to mess around a little bit more with his feet. So I'll help him to just kind of sit, just pat his butt a little bit. And I'll start playing around with his feet, feeding him a treat. And I want to take my time here, guys. It's no rush. I want the dog to be comfortable. So sometimes, especially in the beginning, and Barney's an older dog here, I'm trying to get him so where he's in a relaxed state, so when I take out the Dremel or I have to trim his nails, he doesn't start getting stressed. So the more time you take with this in the beginning when you're teaching it, the easier it's going to be on the dog, the less stress you're going to create for the dog. There. And as you can see here, guys, his nails aren't terribly long. This is more about just getting him used to having the Dremel and having him know that when we take it out that it's not a time to be stressed, that he can just kind of relax and chill on the bed here with us. There. Oh boy. So now what I'm going to do is I'll hold his paw. Make sure he's comfortable too. Whatever position he wants to be comfortable in. If he doesn't want to lay down, don't force him to lay down. As long as I can hold his paw and he can be steady in other ways so he's secure, then what I'm going to do is I'll start bringing the Dremel a little bit closer, and again on a lower level. And right now I'm just doing it more just to get him used to it. Boy, and then I'll stop for a minute, pat him. Good job, buddy. I know you didn't know you were going to be a movie star today, huh? Yeah. Either did Sam. Attaboy. Good. So slow, patient, methodical. That's what we want to do here. And now he actually laid down on his own. And since he is more relaxed and he's letting me do more, then I'm actually going to start getting a little bit more detailed into the nail and what I'm trying to accomplish.
Okay, so a common question is, what's the point of the Dremel versus the nail trimmers? And the nice thing about the Dremel is that we can file the nail more gradually, and we can also avoid hitting that Quik. Because with this tool, we don't take off big chunks at a time, we just file down the nail. Now, there's different schools of thought on how the Dremeling should work and where you should be filing. In order to truly get the Quik to receive, which is what is going to give us that shorter nail, we can't just hit the nail from the front. We have to kind of go all the way around the nail. It's also going to help prevent any weird wear patterns on the nails when the dogs are out walking on concrete or something. So I'm going to turn the Dremel on. And then when I'm dremeling Barney's nails, good boy bud, what? I'm going to start with the front of the nails. And then I'm also going to get the nail from the sides. Now when I say I'm getting it from the sides, I'm not talking I'm going all the way back. It's just at the edge here where the Quik is. And this is a little bit of a slower process, so like we showed with Stick Boy, if we have a dog with really bad nails, we're going to start with nail trimmers first and then go to the Dremel. But clearly with Barney, he doesn't have very bad nails, and so we can just go straight to the Dremel. Good boy. And then again, because this is his first session, we're going to give him lots of frequent breaks. Good boy, bud. Good boy.
Over there, behind you.
We're going to give him lots of frequent breaks so that we're not overwhelming him. He's not very stressed about the Dremel right now, but if we kept doing it every single toe and he kind of got into a pattern where he's like, okay, this is a really long session, it's always easier in the beginning to break it up with the dog and reward them more frequently for shorter amounts of time. And then every time I go back to start doing it, he's waiting for that next break where he gets those nice treats and some petting. All right, Barney, ready? Next toe. All right, let's turn my Dremel back on. Pick up his foot. Good boy. And if they go to like move their foot or they're uncomfortable with you holding your foot, just hold it nice and calm. No stress, no nothing.
And definitely don't apply pressure to it, because pressure creates resistance, and you don't want to be fighting the dog to be able to hold him still. So if he does do that, just look how Sam's patient. She doesn't necessarily let go of his foot, but she lets him just get comfortable, and then again she starts up.
Now, if you had a dog who, when you pick up their foot, gets really, really resistant, and they keep wanting to pull their foot away and shake their foot, go back and spend some more time conditioning, you grabbing their feet, you playing with their nails, you playing with their paw pads, so they get to the point where they're very comfortable with this. And that's also a good point too, is that when you get a new puppy or you bring home a new dog, one of the first things that you should do is get them very used to you touching their feet, messing with their nails, and getting them used to all these husbandry things that you're going to need to do for the rest of their life.